You know
That
what I'm saying?
is a good point. As you were saying that, like, yeah, you were as I was listening to him, and then that whole notion of like the idea. Generally speaking, who knows for sure? But the
Yeah,
general idea is that yeah, like over the years, the expectation of females to male, like in dating world, is strange. You're like, yeah, I want 100K earner, I want this and that, this look, this acumen, this age. It's like shit, that is insane. And these are coming from females of a later age range. And it's
yeah,
just it's funny how he does it. I agree with you. Some of it could be off-putting, but I like that shit personally, just
yeah,
because
yeah. You like it raw usually because that's just
yeah.
who you are in a
Well,
way. You're like,
entertainment value too, because if he wasn't
yeah,
doing it that way, I could clearly see that it would be very close to something that's already on the internet, like some kind
yeah,
of, loosely talked about relationship show where everybody gets their say and there's not really a definitive point. Where his
yeah,
shit is like, all I'm trying to prove is your shit is flawed and it don't make sense. You
yeah.
can't be a modern woman and think you want X man and you're entitled to it, especially the ones where there's a kid involved and, the
Oh,
looks, he does the looks number thing. I'm like, oh, oh. Like I remember I saw what she said. Okay, if I put in public to the world tomorrow, your face, Beyonce's face, put it up, and it's like, yo, uh, are these the same? Are these in the same category? And she was like, I mean, you might not, but I think
yeah.
so. I was
But
like,
see,
that is crazy.
and the funny thing about that is like you might not, and then it's like this whole like cool. I'm glad Lizzo got to your head because you all are amazing, right? But but then all of a sudden you're clowning some other a dude, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to always think about it might sound off topic, but many years ago, Amber Rose used to talk about don't body shame, don't call me a whore or whatever. But then like I think there was a post where she was talking about men's height and penis size, what she wanted, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wait, isn't that kind of body shaming? Isn't that kind of doing what you're saying? Like, we shouldn't body shame, right? Men shouldn't body shame, but then you can discriminate against our height.
Mm-hmm.
How's one you can control, right? You can control your obesity, your weight,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I mean, until you get there's surgery out there, but like for the most part, men can't control their height.
No.
Men can't control their doohickey size,
Nope.
right? So like it just trips me out. The obviously we're not, you know, instead of I was listening to a book earlier today, and sometimes instead of always like having in our head and worry about what should be, we just got to accept what is. But right now, the idea of equality and all that stuff is like BS because right now it's the pendulum's swung heavily to the other side, and it's getting kind of out of hand. You know, it's not even realistic. It's not even realistic to me.
I agree.
I mean, and to Kevin as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P.
Yeah. No, I agree. His content, could be controversial, but I think that's kind of its purpose, is to really throw it in people's faces, because it all of a sudden spurns this talking point that a lot of dudes probably really share that sentiment of, and maybe not knowing of the situation in the way it's proposed, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, like there's something going on. Like, am I not good enough? Like, yo, this is I own, my own business, or I'm doing this trade. I make X amount of dollars. I'm good financially, and I'm having a hard time, like, getting women or whatever, if that's the case. Uh, and that's crazy, because to take that into account about the expectation of the today's, female, yeah, like he was referencing some shit like, yeah, I was in a college class and talking to the female student, was like, yeah, if this, you met a guy and he was a plumber, and oh hell no, he a plumber, making 100K, have his own business, like, nah, I ain't trying to do all that, no, plumber, no. It's like, damn, that's crazy. Like, that's a
Not
legit
even a
trade.
plumber,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What
And
do
that's why
you?
I like that shit, because he was putting an emphasis on the word average, like average woman,
Yeah,
average man, and just kind of like, especially I think what you were mentioning was, how they'll, downplay a dude, like, oh, I'm not average. That dude, oh, I don't fuck with average dudes. It's like, that's so hypocritical. Like, that's
yeah,
like what you were talking about with the whole, Lizzo thing, and kind of like, yeah, you can advocate for an idea and then kind of do the same thing as long as it's in the
in the
against
vein of
men.
what is good for you. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
like what?
I can say that, but you, how dare
Yeah,
you? And
yeah,
don't body shame me, because if you do
yeah,
that, then you're an asshole. You're a man trying to control us. It's like, wait a
mm,
minute, you
mm-hmm,
just do you know? Do you even know what the average household income is in America?
mm-hmm,
So if a man made $100,000, right, the
mm-hmm,
average household at the time was like 55 or whatever, maybe
mm-hmm.
60 now. But even if it was 100, right, and it was 50, 60, you're talking about a man makes almost, you know, double the household income, the average,
Yeah,
and that's not good enough. And then on top of that, he has to make sure he's tall.
mm-hmm,
And I'm over exaggerating, but I say that as a joke, but then someone will be like, the size has to be a certain thing or whatever. It's like, come on now, like
mm-hmm.
something's got to give. Like everything can't be like I, I'm all over the place, but like this is an unrealistic thing that they can have everything, and part of it is Disney are the parents, the fathers, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. Well, if I had a daughter, how would I raise her? I don't know. Like, obviously, you would try to be like, don't mess with some idiot dude. But the funny thing is, those ones that are still saying that are still messing with idiot dudes. It's a mixture of all that, in my opinion.
It is. It is. I think like as we even when we do our like our nostalgic talks about our era, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
the Family Matters Urkel shit and the introduction to Simpin or even just the narrative we're talking about now, it feels like to put this in the way where it's the narrative. So how much of that is true? That's interesting to debate because there could be an argument that it might not be commonplace, but one thing's for sure, the idea is already seated in our mind as early as back then of all these things about demasculation of men. Those conversations that men had, and that idea started as early as the 80s, some would say, depending on how you want to frame it.
Yeah,
So it doesn't even have to necessarily be true in a day-to-day thing. It's more or less the belief and idea because it feels okay. Let's just say generation now that's 18 to 20 something. Damn, they're probably in their minds they're just thinking like that too. Like, oh well, yeah, 100K for sure. Got to have this. Got to have this. Got to this that. That's like the modern man. See, and I'm like, damn. Okay, so then what do guys like? Is there a narrative for what guys think? Oh no, it's like, no, you know what happened? Dudes, you can't even be a dude technically in today's world. Like,
no,
you are toxic. We're toxic just doing this right now. Like, I'm like,
yeah, I
goddamn.
know, I know. Like, it's just funny is, yeah, you're right, because like we be a dude is like, no, that's unacceptable, but definitely women power. And that goes into a lot of things. But we're talking about sex, but it's like it is trippy. It's like it's we can't be dudes, but then even if complaining about it, we'd be like, oh, look at you, sensitive dudes. Like
Exactly.
you
So
can't
it's like,
even
what the fuck is going on?
I just seen a post from someone I know, right? And they're like, it sounds like we're going off topic, but they're like, a man saying he's going to council is the next new 6'4", right? Like height. And so right there is automatically saying that the height, like that's like sexy. If a man saying he's going to council, that's like the new 6'4", like you're tall. And it's like the funny thing about that is like while I saw that, I was thinking to myself, okay, so women like a man going to counseling, right? As long as you talk to them about it, but you don't come back and talk to them, like talk to the counselor, but don't talk to the women about it. It's like, go ahead. I'm glad you get this counseling. But when you come here, I need you to be
Alpha.
not alpha, not emotional. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And it's kind of to me, it's kind of funny. Now, obviously, that's not what they said, but that's how I took it implied because it's just like so. Why can't in reality? Why can't if you're in a relationship, the man talk to you about these things,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what happens if a man does that to a woman? For the most part, the woman's going to make them a friend and friend zone, and then the sexual tension just dries up.
Because
You
you're
know,
exposing like
you're
a
supposed to look
weakness.
weak, right? And
Yeah.
and it's like so it's weird because like you're supposed to be vulnerable, but the moment you're vulnerable, then they don't like it.
Then you gay.
You need more confidence about yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
My vulnerability is I'm not that confident. Life has been, but you know what? Ugh, he was not confident, but he was vulnerable. You
See, if
know,
it's too confident, oh
I know
man,
I
he
sound
arrogant.
weird. Probably say it. Yeah, I know I probably sound weird saying what I'm saying, but I think you
No,
get what
dude, that's just that's experience. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the conundrum is strange because I feel you. It is confusing. You kind of like, so how does we don't say anything. Oh, that's how shit got out of hand. Clearly.
yeah.
I mean, and however this is played out. That's why it's almost like, damn, they snuck up on us with this one. Shit. Because when you
Ooh.
take a deep step back, at least just fuck all the other nonsense that's been going on, just the man world and the man, how it's viewed. That shit has
Mhm.
definitely changed. Like slowly through the years, not even like dramatically. It's just we see it now because of a guy like Kevin Samuels or for like Abba and Preach, like they're kind of on that same tip and
Oh, you've been
start
listening to them
slowly.
too,
I
or
catch a couple of their episodes. They're definitely entertaining.
yeah. I mean,
But
they call out both sides too, so it's
yeah.
kind of
See, and that's what's crazy is because you get the same theme, but it's presented differently. Like
yeah.
how Samuels does his and I'll preach do theirs, and then you got all the other the like the Joe Buddens or 22s or DJ Academic, whatever, whoever's doing relationship anything, right?
Yeah.
And then from there it just becomes entertainment value. But the note to take in my head is that average stuff and trying to discern some strange expectation that has just kind of been slowly seeded in there. See, and how does that happen? Is this kind of manufactured or is this supply demand? Like is somehow women gave the clue of this and then they just kind of pandered and it just kind of came to
I,
this point?
I
Or
think
is
it's a
there really
mixture of
something out there
I
like,
think it's a
oh no,
mixture of
here,
them.
here, put that in their mind?
I think it's a mixture of all the above, like from parents are and not even though your parents didn't grow up in this generation, you grew up with women, right? Women of parents that grew up in America that was pushing for women empowerment. So meaning like even though your parents weren't that, your mom may have been that way, right? You're more likely going to deal with other people and other girls and other friends whose family members were like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, a lot of times there was times that when we were growing up where there was girls that thought they can hang with us, all women knew women, strength and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So for a very long time, even if, like I said, the R&B music that I once loved so dearly, it was like, how much was it? Was it like we were pandering and begging?
Mm-hmm.
As much as Jodeci still knocks, but it's like, lady,
I
I
will
will cry
cry
for
for
you know what I'm saying
you
tonight.
tonight.
Like you're crying, like it seemed like that's what they wanted, and that's what we're told.
Okay, how
But
about this?
but in
Okay,
reality,
okay,
guess
okay.
what? They sang like that. But that dude Casey was beating the crap out of Mary J. Blige,
No, that is true. Very
and
controversial.
I'm not even trying to be like saying that's okay. What I'm saying is like
Yeah.
what they hear, what they go for, are two different things. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
It's almost as if, hey, even though you ain't like this, hey, can you sing about this? Like,
Exactly.
oh, what? This is some weird messaging shit. My thing was this, as you were saying that, I was thinking like, so what do you think about like all the old school stuff? Like Al Green and one of those things. The biggest differences and similarities between kind of that and then with something like a Jodeci or a Musique or something like that, and the differences, or the similarities.
Man, it's hard because I was listening to Isley Brothers, right?
Mm.
And in between sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like the way you move, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Move me, girl. I like the way you pursue me, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
was it was like I don't know. It still felt more pimpish than
Hey, see?
begging ish. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were going through it, it was a lot of like when I look at it, begging. Now, granted, take it with a grain of salt. Whoever's listening, if you are listening out there, I'm bitter of the stuff that I'm growing up. So I have a very particular mindset on it right now.
Oh, you're not alone, bro. You gotta understand. In club, man, I'm pretty sure men are like, yeah, secretly, whether they acknowledge it publicly or not, they're like, mm-hmm, I stay bitter. Like, there's a lot of us out there. But no, to your that pimpish shit. See, and that's what I led me to that because I was like, okay, if it ain't this, because I agree with you. When I listen to like old school tracks, you know, I'm like, I wouldn't even put this as R&B for some reason. Like it's a different feel, and it does seem like it comes out of a, hey woman, like
Yeah.
I'm for you. It is how I feel,
Yeah.
but hey, I still need you to be my woman. Like, oh, okay.
A lot of it, they were telling what they were gonna do.
Yeah.
Like Barry White, put it in. Like, there's a song where it's like,
Yeah.
I said, put it in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
Okay.
think where it probably got really begging, maybe I have to look back. Maybe Marvin Gaye was probably begging. I have to go back.
Okay. See,
Maybe he was
that was probably the beginning,
the
in the
beginning,
start.
and he's on the Godfathers of like singing soul. You know what I'm saying? As far
Yeah.
as R&B.
But I mean, you need somebody to kind of usher in the new era. You know, it could have
Yeah.
been any of them, but it could have been that he could have been the chosen one. You know, hey, bring it into the soft world, like
Yeah.
Bobby Brown, right?
Yeah.
Same deal. You're like, yo, if he's associated with that genre, take a look at his entire storyline.
True.
His storyline is one of the craziest. It's to your point, like the Jodeci idea. Like, yeah, they say this. Every little step I take, I'm feeding for you. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying that shit, but in reality, hey, this was really going on. Like, oh, okay. So as a consumer that has no wherewithal, we're just listening to it at our most formative years. Like, oh, okay,
Dude,
uh-huh.
the
Begging,
first song,
poems. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, cool,
the
flowers.
first song, and I can still remember who it was for. I won't say it on the podcast,
Hey.
but the first song I remember I like wanted to mimic was "And if I ever fall in love again, I will be sure that the lady is what
a
friend
zone.
Right? A friend zone.
Hey, that is subtle
You know,
messaging. That is, I
I
listen to that
will
song all
be
the time.
sure that the lady's just like you. Right.
Oh,
Yeah, baby, yeah.
man.
A friend. So I
And
was
they looked like
already
hip hop cats.
I was already -40 on my avatar on that part.
That's true. We got the raw end of the deal.
My avatar was already behind. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Your avatar will have
yeah.
one leg. Like, what?
Yeah.
We just think, oh, that's just how everybody's playing. And then we get into the game, we're like, hey,
Nope.
what the fuck?
Yeah, what the heck is going on here? Why is my avatar like this?
Got handicapped, man.
Got handicap on this belief right here.
See, and that's why I think talking about it is important, because I'm pretty sure there's probably people that can't really put into words, maybe, but this has to be more of us that feel some version of this. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely common. It's way common.
Oh, I mean, I feel like I'm not even thinking I'm saying anything new. I'm pretty sure other YouTubers have stated this or whatever. Because I'm like, it has to be, dude.
Yeah, I got the notion from somewhere. None of that shit is never original, so clearly it's somewhere in the ether. But nonetheless, yeah, that song. I mean, like we talk about, that shit was through our formative years, and imagine that being your base, and then you have to try to, kind of test those things out in the craziest environment. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, but that was our journey, and now that we've lived it, we have to, try to make sense of it, I guess, and talk about it.
Because when I was rough, rugged, and raw like that, right, there was no chicks liking me. I was too mean, and not realize that was a right way to go,
But see, that's what's crazy, because at a young age, it's like, how do we?
Don't be over exaggerating on that.
Yeah, of course. But it's so crazy. It's like, yeah, you just kind of go for it, and then it's the whatever instances that peek its head in your lifetime that slowly alter and change your trajectory and your ultimate, complete thought on it. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, that's relationships are such an important thing, and that's why it's like, going back to the beginning of the conversation, along with Mr. Samuels, like he was talking about the marriage and the family dynamic and how that's definitely changed as well. Like, people waiting a little longer to both get married and have kids. unlike that is interesting because the notion was more of a 18 to 21, 22 range was a little more commonplace for the, everyday people. But now that is narrative is completely changed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like in some ways, it's like cool. You went to go get your career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both people, right? Now the bad part is on another part is that sometimes for women once they waited too long, they can't have kids, right? It's difficult to have kids, and then also men who waited long enough, we start to have our reproductive issues. I mean, we can have kids at a certain, we can still possibly have kids, but we might not be able to go all night or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or do other things. But to be the ability to have kids, we can still do that. But like, there's other issues that come along with that, and that's because we were driven to get our career or driven to make our money or whatever. Just like it sounds off topic. Like back in if we were talking about like Bible and biblical times, people weren't really living. I mean, some lived a long time, but it's relative because you got to look at the time or whatever. But you're looking at people who are probably living up to 40 years old, and people were having kids at a younger age. Like let's not even say like biblical. Let's go back like 200, 150 years or so. Like someone to live 50 or 60 years old was ridiculous, especially at that time because medicine wasn't advanced. You know,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
the lifestyle was a little bit more harsh.
Well, see,
So,
there's some people living today to like they reach like 100.
yeah, I think that's like a mixture of perfect timing and food and health. Like I feel like my grandparents. You see a lot of people dying young because of I think fast food and other things, right? But then there's a time where everything was natural. Then the advent of medicine came in, and as that improved, because they were eating on more natural stuff at a younger age. I think I want to say that's part of it as well. While some of us, and now we're moving more towards natural, grew up on processed food, grew up on processed drinks. So I think those are some factors. I mean, that's just my shitballing type thing, but that's what I believe. That some of that's the issue, or why they're living longer.
I
So
agree. I agree with that notion. I think we're unique in the idea that the diet introduction, I think, will continue to play a part because, like you said, a lot of us have become hip to different lifestyles, but also a lot of us, I could assume, kind of stayed within that range clearly because the options for processed or fast food are still abundant. They're just a little more masked and a little you know uh they're marketed differently, but they're definitely still out there. And that's why I was like, oh, that is it's definitely something to note. I think as time progresses and seeing our peer set longevity, because I'm seeing the boomers before us. Some of them are getting there. Some not so much, and it's probably just par for the course. But it's kind of seeing the differences with someone maintenance wise, whether it's the people that go do the physical shit, the hiking, the yoga. Those
yeah,
people are a certain subsect, and then you have damn, I'm in the chair. What I'm saying? I'm shopping in the chair,
yeah.
and that happens, and it's trying to not necessarily determine, it's speculative, but just all the factors, lifestyle, things like that, the pure surroundings of us are always interesting to dabble into because it's like, yeah, that shit ain't right.
It,
Damn,
it
we got the
isn't.
wrong end of the stick again. R&B and fast food. Fuck.
R&B, fast food,
Yeah.
it's just like
TV. Yeah, they all fucked us up. Video games. Shit. They went from Atari to Nintendo. That is like night and day.
yeah,
What the fuck? How did they go from? That's like going from the Model T or whatever of fucking
the original
yeah, it's
car, yeah,
fucking whatever we driving now, Tesla.
yeah,
What the fuck?
Tesla,
Like a
leaps and
Model
bounds,
T. Like
man.
what the fuck are we doing? Like how did we just advance? Like the what's that the propeller of the plane and with your head out the window. Oh, here we go with a scarf and then
Right?
oh fucking fighter jet. Like oh shit.
Here's a fighter jet, guys. It's like, what the heck happened here?
There's no it's like the the before we were upright and then how we're a little hunched. That they make that shit seem like, oh, that was like a week or so. Like, no,
That
motherfucker,
was
that's like at least a million years. Like, how you just gonna? Oh, he's up right now. That's what I'm saying. There's missing. There's something missing here. There's a big piece missing.
oh yeah, for sure, man. There's a lot of things that just don't make sense, you know. But
Hmm.
I I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel anymore about life. I'm just like, this is what it is. Like
You build
sometimes
it
it
up to
sounds
tear it
bad.
down. No, we build it up to tear it down. I think that's healthy because if we always kept our version of the world as early as we thought when we knew it, oh, we'd be
Hmm.
doomed. You know what I'm saying? We'd be living whatever lifestyle that we attain to according to our perception. Well, what we realize now as we continue on with life, it's like, yeah, man, there's nope, got to rewrite this script because everything I've come to understand is like, oh, that might not be true. That
Yeah,
might not be true either. I need to rewrite this, and I think it's cool because it kind of keeps us, busy, us ants busy on the farm. You know what I'm saying? We got something else to
of
worry
course,
about.
keep us like, oh, damn it,
Oh,
I had to
yeah.
hang up. No, like yeah, a lot of this stuff just makes sense. It's to keep us in place. It's to keep us going in a weird direction, and I don't know, man. I mean, like, I don't think everything's against us. That's just my belief, you know. I don't.
No.
Um, that means there's so many moving parts would have to agree upon it, and that's, I mean, just imagine I have five people trying to go to one dinner. You know what I'm saying? One
Mm.
location.
Mm-hmm.
But I do wonder about just overall, like how do we get here? How's
Mm-hmm.
this even possible? You know?
Yeah, and I think that's why the spirituality talks or the religious talks or philosophical theoretical stuff, hypotheticals, just trying to make sense of something, especially the stuff that calls to you, um, and just kind of questioning those narratives. You know what I'm saying? Or questioning. I think that's always that forever notion. Question everything. You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to nobody. Like trust in yourself. Like, damn, that is it feels like the name of the game is it gets to this point of the game essentially.
I mean, I've started to come to the agreement is if you're wrong about something, would you rather lose on your terms or someone else's?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I rather just as of right now, I'd rather lose on my term now.
Yeah,
Oh,
down
if I
my
was
shield.
wrong, damn. Oh well, I got to go
Yeah,
with it.
yeah,
For
exactly.
some
Like
reason, I
I
have a
still feel
hard
that
time
way.
dealing. For some odd reason, I have a hard time trying to die in someone else's shield. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't feel right to me.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. Um, my competitive side is like, I can't believe this person got over me. Hold on, let me get a napkin. I'm
Oh
bleeding
yeah,
right now.
yeah. Oh, that hella bleeding. Jeez, Louise.
So yeah, now I'm just getting to the point where it's like I rather just lose on my terms. F it. I don't care what anybody else says. You know?
See, and that's what I respect about anybody is just their own shit. Like, what is it that you prescribe to? You know what I'm saying? It ain't perfect, and then that's what you realize. You're like, it's just viewpoints. It's just opinions. It's trying to make sense of your experiences versus what's fed to you in your mind. And then trying to come up with those, like what we always point out, like that just doesn't make sense. And then
Yeah.
as we think about it, it slowly ingrains in our mindset and how we interpret the world. And then, take little nuggets here and there, and it helps me, process the just everyday shit just to make sense of it. It might not be right, but it's my right. At least
Yeah.
like
You're
this is
like,
what I'm thinking.
hey, I'm gonna be wrong, but at least I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah,
But
man.
so sorry, glad you listened to Kevin Samuels. And what was like your takeaway so far when you listened to him?
Entertaining as fuck, but uh I like what he's bringing light to about the average man, the average woman, trying to really place value on or restore value, I guess, according to kind of how things shape to somebody in trade or even an average looking woman, and just to be accepted under those circumstances. This may have not been the situation before, but because of how today is and the fact that idea is already out there just in the ether of thinking and talking, it's almost natural to kind of, okay, let's shed light and make sure we're cautious, especially if we're in the world of trying to rewrite the history. Essentially, it's like, okay, before anybody says anything, let's shed light on the people that do this shit, blue collar, middle class, whatever you want to call it. And it's no diss, it really isn't, because people that are on this, that 1%, 10%, whatever the very minuscule amount of people that are in those fields of high earning, entertainment, sports, whatever you fucking name it, whatever that is, that's a very small percentage of people, and rightfully so. That's just going to be kind of what it is. Now, when you coerce possibly an entire demographic of the population, hypothetically, to, this is ideal, this is, don't even settle. Like, once you coerce that, then it's kind of like, okay, then what happens to the rest of the motherfuckers? Like,
it's not reality, man. It's like weird. Like, to me, it's like jacked up part is like you bring it up. Sometimes you bring it up, and then people are like, "Oh, you're limiting. You have limiting beliefs. Oh, you don't believe in yourself." And some whatever they're gonna want to push, right? To sit there and say that you're whack because you don't believe in it, right? But the reality is, like, someone has to work for someone else. Not everybody can have. I mean, now you can have your own business, but it's like, for the most part, it's like you still have to work for someone else until you get your business high enough, right? And then by the time whatever the business is, you may employ someone else. But if everybody's trying to work for themselves, then no one's going to work for anyone else, And then at the same time, like, then where's the money coming from? Because sometimes you need for government workers, sometimes you need a big business to put into these smaller companies,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I don't know, like, cool. Like, I'm not telling someone not to live their best life and whatever that means, All I'm saying is just your best life doesn't need to look like what everybody else is doing, which is the common thing, going Tel Aviv or Tulum or, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool, but are you living your best life, or are you just replicating what everybody else is doing?
You know what I'm thinking? You remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to watch that, and I'm like, that seems cool. That'd be awesome. But I don't know how I'm going to get there. So it kind of just like, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
In today's world, it's almost like, no, there's a dude that looks just like you out there having, this photo as something, or doing this, and 10 ways to do this and that. Hey, look at me, this and that. Hey, man, come on. It's everywhere.
You could do it too. I don't have the drive to want to do this anymore. How do you know I didn't try to do it? And I just learned this is not for me. I had to deal with certain people. I didn't like these people. Or, that's to say you didn't like the people, but, whatever it is.
What exactly? And it's like, why is this? It's inundated to the point where it starts to make you believe that, hey, man, you need to do this. It's like, shit, this is literally that Dave Chappelle skit. It's like, if the internet was the real world. And then it kind of is, because we're so logged into it in that way. You know what I'm saying? To the media side of it, and the way it plays out, YouTube, Twitter.
The YouTube algorithm. No, you're absolutely right. And it's like, because now, like I said, Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous before was like, that's a pipe dream. I wish. Now it's like, you can do it. And then if you're not doing it, you're not living your life, or you're stupid. It's like, what? Like, why?
Hell absolute. It's like, it's
absolute in so many ways, man.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's absolute in so many ways, man. So many ways. Not just like that part, but like you're whack, It's just yeah, I don't even want to go there, man. It's just stupid.
It is crazy. Well, this is no credit given. But that's what's strange, is because we never really prided ourselves on, getting acknowledged as men. It was never a thing. It was just kind of, we just do what we do. But through the years, something happened where, maybe got more sensitive, or whatever the brainwashing program was for men, or the demasculation, as we say, both coming from internal sources, external, or whatever you want to call it. It's like, oh shit, okay, have we gone through the worst of it, and now this is some weird, trajectory back to, is the pendulum swinging? I think you said earlier is like, the swing was so dramatic where it kind of defeated the purpose of what it was supposed to be, right? Hey, we're just a little too extreme here. Let's just get it down to, the middle where it's a little equal, in that sense. Instead, it became, all right, we're there. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no, we need to be here. We need to be doing all this. This is like,
yeah, if you're not like, come on.
Wait, what?
You're not playing basketball? Wait, you're not a real estate agent?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have an Airbnb, you don't own an Airbnb property yet?
Crazy, man.
I was like, man, I'm quite content. Now, there is this like new idea too, not new idea, but this like idea, like, and I get it too. Like the moment you work so hard to feel comfortable, but the moment you feel comfortable, you have no more drive. And then they say, get out your comfort level. Well, didn't I work this hard to get comfortable? Can I enjoy it? Because that sounds kind of stressful for a very long time to always try to stay working hella hard all the damn time.
Yeah, you're talking about that hustle mentality shit.
Yeah, like
that's a sickness too, man. I think that is actually a true narrative that's slowly being talked about. Is kind of like, I don't know what it's called specifically, but it does have a name, and then it's strictly attributed to that, where people are actually openly, talking about like, yeah, man, that's overdoing it. That's actually detrimental to a person. We suggest not doing this. Like, what? This shit's been being pushed hard for like the last 10 years or some shit.
Bruh. And this is like, and then you like, depending on who you are, then you start to feel like, man, am I even
doing
like,
the right thing?
The right thing? Am I good? Once again, am I good enough?
Yeah. See, and I'm trying to think, and I always try to think in past, because it's happened already, right? So the modern man, when we were kids, like, in my mind, like Bob Vila, you know what I'm saying? Like, who else was one of those manly figures? Like, it was either a cross between all this action hero motherfuckers.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Tim the Toolman Taylor, dude. So that kind of, to me, seems like that's a throwback idea. But and then just try to even exponentially think about that in the past, and just how that dictates, or how that becomes a thing. Is that perpetrated through just this general, okay, this is kind of what we're thinking, especially when you create a show, right? What's the best character? You're trying to get an appeal to as many people. So to me, when those shows happen, or songs, or whatever is deemed pop culture, it's the most relatable thing going on at that time. So I'm like, damn, how do they figure this shit out? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they get this, these ideas to be able to cast something like that in the scope of something and portray this American home idea, and then it to take off, and then you put that show on today, you're like, boo, that is fucking toxic. Like, what?
That is toxic, man.
This should be banned.
But even then, it's kind of funny because they definitely made the men really stupid.
That's true. That was that was when, like, it was
Homer
clumsy
is stupid. Shit. Tim is stupid, right? You had Homer, who was overweight and whatever. Yeah. Having a
drinking all the time, overweight, inept, at a job at a radioactive power plant.
At a radioactive power plant
in Springfield, Massachusetts.
They didn't say which Springfield. That was part of the joke, because there's because there's so
copyrighted.
So many Springfields out there.
I didn't even think about that angle. Right when you said that, I was like, that is also true. Making men clumsy and dumb started then. See, and then I even go further back. I only understand it through TV and movies, clearly. But yeah, even like 70s, 80s.
No, 70s, 80s. We had Alice right to the moon, or whatever, or George Jefferson.
Oh, like, yeah.
Like the father's like, get up out of here. I'm about to talk you job time 30 or Red Fox, like you ain't gonna come up here. Oh, son, I ain't gonna do that, you know.
Oh, see, so the 70s was interesting. Yeah, 70s, 60s, and 70s in a deep dive, in a short swing. Those are very interesting times, man. There's a lot of shit going on around those times. You know,
Very, and it's weird because like you go back and watch some stuff, it was like, damn, it was like kind of, it was domestic violence, you know. But
that was on daytime television. That wasn't like late night rated R movie. Nope, that was just straight on like a Lifetime movie. Like, that's
that's a Lifetime.
Good morning,
movie now, right?
Like, shit.
Lifetime movie. Hey, this is Lifetime movie now, right? Hey, babe, yes, dear, right? Like the man. So this is the man to the woman. Hey, babe. Can you take off the trash? I ain't gonna follow no man's life. Blah 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 blah. Lifetime story about a man asking a woman to take out the trash.
9-part series.
9-part series. How he was abusive.
Oh man, but that's, I mean, see, so it's like, it's this conditioning, and we don't have any cap on how we consume. You know what I'm saying? I think when our parents tried their best, you know, like, hey, only 2 hours of TV, then it's lights out. Or even TV itself, I always bring it up, when it shut out itself, it was like, oh, we're not even going the 24-hour cycle. Good night, we'll see you in the morning. To the point where, you know what, fuck it, let's just let this shit roll. And they're just letting it roll. And this is just where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and now you can stream it anytime you want. Like, you know what, I'm kind of lonely.
That's so crazy.
Streaming
is insane. What is that? We went from having DVD and video collections to, oh man, just stream it. What the fuck are you saying? Yeah, just go on a screen, click it, and then it'll just be able to show up on your screen.
Yeah, just click it, you know.
What? And then I'm watching something I can watch in a movie theater, like on my phone.
You know what? You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just watch it right here. You're good.
Oh man, this is one of the interesting times in life, man, because we still think we're not really futuristic. You know what I'm saying? We're still behind.
But it's like you never see your growth until afterwards, until you see where you came from, right? Like most people around you can see your growth, right? But you, on the other hand, you didn't realize how much weight you lost, you know?
Oh no.
Like, or you don't see the chisel, like, because you see yourself every day, you know?
Yeah, it is some weird, like, that's what the correspondence with each other is unique, because along with whatever you theorize in life and whatever this, you know, shit is, we need each other to corroborate something, or to figure, it's like we need each other as markers in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, you can think of it one of two ways. You're either playing in the, you know, adventure mode, and you're just against all the bots and shit. And then there's like you go online though, and then you're like, oh, this is hello, like, what's up? Like,
hello,
what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even do that, but I'm just in my head. It's like, yo, that's kind of how interactions are, you know, and we need each other to kind of, hey, what do you think? Whoa, I had no idea. What makes you think that? And then, whoa, you're a complex person. Me too. Whoa, hey, what are we really doing here? And then, but what do you like? Oh, laughing is fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, eating is fun. Like, oh shit, okay, cool. We could do that. Okay. It's just some trying to simplify this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can eat. We can do this. No, like, I feel like shit's definitely got way more complex, more people. It's like, as we evolve, now standards are evolving, right? It's like, oh, we no longer settle for this because that's the bare minimum, you know? And just in life in general, like cooking, now everybody's cooking different. Now, you know, what I made for the chicken adobo, maybe 20 years ago, that would have been a bomb place. You know what I'm saying? But because more people are getting hip to cooking in certain style, that's like a subpar place. You know, it's an okay dinner.
That's true.
I mean, maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit, but I'm just trying to give
No, I
an
think
example.
you're correct. Because I mean, shit. Okay, let's think about it this way, right? Like, you've been to like a Denny's before or a Perry's, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I could assume that the way that they tell us how it works is that was the more common situation, that or like a burger joint where essentially the only restaurants in town, right? At least that's the kind of the way it's framed out in like way
yeah.
back in the days. Okay, so now today you're like the normal corner spot is like, uh whatever
Tokos
kitchen,
or
yeah, whatever, like, oh, here you go, whatever, kitchen, like, oh shit, that is a corner spot, owned by a small family, and they do this, or owned by this chef that is trained here. It's like, that's just in, down the street, or that's in the little, the shopping neighborhood thing. You're like, damn, that
yeah.
is. And it only gets more intricate, because it's expression. So like in Chinese food, there's starting to become a lot more options instead of just, oh, there's the regular Chinese food, but then you got Hunan style, you got the soup dumpling spot over here. Oh, dim sum. Oh, that you go here for this. Oh, it's like
Yeah.
just layers upon layers. We're getting a lot more diverse in that, at least in the food, section. But then ultimately to bring that back, a lot of culinary, seekers out there in that regard. It's only so many, but people cooking at home, that if I had to put stock in something, that definitely happened. That was a real thing.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know, as time progresses, how that materializes. I think you're right in saying the common home meal in a lot of households will be definitely of a very,
Higher
high
quality.
standard. Yeah, high quality. At least in theory, right? We are
Partially
believed to
too
be a
is
little
because
more
they
well versed.
places are getting more expensive as well. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And that's just across the board. It's expensive to eat out in general. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to add that up, it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So it's best to learn how to do it yourself as well. So those, I mean, I think those add on factors as well. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's fascinating that eating casually out is a more commonplace, because on top of that,
Yes.
you also have delivery service that are a lot more available now. So, along with the heightened, interest in home cooking, there's also the divide of people who were, accustomed to eating out, now
Mm-hmm.
have another outlet to, man, I ain't got to go nowhere. It's cool. I can bring the restaurant to me anything I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, there's that too. So it's almost like it's a little another step, both equally on each on each spectrum. You know what I'm saying? And it just continues on. Um, and I think it's cool, to be honest. Like, it might not be the right thing, but it's cool to have hella options. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I mean,
That's
like,
very comforting.
like as you see, me going through my growth is as of right now, I rather be the one controlling the salt that I put on everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
See?
saying? And even when I say, "Oh, this is salty," don't put salt on other things. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
made the spinach, I didn't put salt in that because
Mm-hmm.
some people would put salt in that. I was like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough salt into the main dish that the rest you don't have to put it in. You know?
Yeah. You're in control of, what you consume. And that's a big, that I was assuming that's a lot of people that kind of made that transition, but it's not anything new, which is crazy, right? Because you're like, well, we did grow up in a world where that was more commonplace, where just home cooking was just kind of the thing, however that was, whether it's use of microwavable foods or sandwiches or anything like that. Still, it still resonated at the home. So it's kind of like, essentially a reset, and just kind of, all right, here's the boundaries again, all right, now go. All right, here we go. Here's the new diet. Here's the new workout. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Mm.
Peloton, you can't tell me that is like, this is some new shit. I'm like, all I'm seeing is the bicycles that are in people's front lawns have a screen now. That's all I'm seeing.
That's exactly what it is. Because like after I got one, and I love it for what it is.
Mhm.
I no longer use the trainers because I'm like, all right, I'll just read along what they say. Half the time, I don't want to like. For me, this is who I am. This is where I'm at in my life. I don't want to hear their shit right now. Like I don't want to hear about like, oh, push yourself, blah blah. Hey, I'm on here. I'm alive. You know, all this stuff about trying to do all that stuff. Me getting on there and being like, from the people who follow us and know what I've been through, that is just a blessing. So me trying to give my best effort at that time is good. You know, me not trying to catch up with everybody else or whatever or beat the top. No, I'm not trying to die. Like, I'm cool off of that. You know, I'm
Yeah,
cool
he's
off of
like,
that
yeah,
right
you
now.
guys need to put a better diverse message up in that bitch.
It's just like maybe I'm just too cynical. But it's like it's sometimes just over the top with the super positivity and motivation and stuff, right? Like blah blah, work it, but like shut up. Like, you know, I don't want to hear this right now. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. You know, some people who need it, cool. Right now, because the thing for me on people who need that stuff, it's until you do it internally, you need to external. It's all it doesn't last. You know, it doesn't last.
Yeah.
To
But it
me,
goes
it
to
doesn't.
show there's a lot of people that, find that
They need it. They need
demand.
it,
Yeah,
man.
it's a demand. So, and that's it's interesting to look at it that way because, yeah, it's trying to figure out the psyche. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, some people just need it in the house so much where you stay motivated. And I mean, I could equate that to just me listening to, all types of content to keep my mind at a certain state. I guess that's kind of what we're doing to some degree or
Yeah.
frequency, however that is. Or you could detach, like go out and do some photo shit. That's the most, you know, closest to be out in nature in the most futuristic way. You know what I'm saying? Hey, while I'm out here though, let me capture this with this machine right here that could just capture this moment like that. That is,
This machine right here that captures the moment of a situation, man.
I mean,
You know,
that is such a underrated, undercelebrated tool to have in today's society. You know
that
what I'm
is
saying?
why. Well, I mean, we all have cameras on our phones now, and that's the good and bad part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like because it takes away the you slowing down to take a picture. It takes away. I think that's what we need to bring back in life. It's not slowing. It's not the take a picture part. It's about slowing down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To slow down and just appreciate what comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I sound weird, let me know. But that's what I believe right now.
Man, that's you just gotta, dude. As a good friend once told me, just follow the universe, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Just let the universe do what it do, baby.
Let it do what it do, baby.
Yeah, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel,
All
man.
right.
Because, dude, we are coming into an age of enlightenment. In I think in this just not necessarily anything big, but yes, big, but internally as in age, I think this is kind of this is leveling up shit for real. This is the new mindset. Like this is the mindset shit. This is the I'm motherfucking completely trying to you know remix my engine and just have that new. You know what I'm saying?
Give me that new though, player.
It is because you see it. You already see it happening on social media. You already know it's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of that. Like I predict that we are going to be paying for, like a relaxing space. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm gonna pay, $20 for an hour in this space that just is silent. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are gonna go into relaxation. Everybody's searching for peace heavily, amongst the chaos. And with peace, there's a demand for it. How do you present that? How do you sell it? You're going to see all the tools and all the stops, put out there for it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, welcome to peace and tranquility. Do you need it? Well, it's not gonna come to you. You know?
See, because everybody's going to be willing to pay for that fix of the illusion of it. Just like what we always talk about. It's all just some strange magic trick. You know what I'm saying? It's a marketing in that sense is it's illusion. It's witchcraft in a lot of ways.
I think it is illusion though, right? Like you gotta like whatever happens in life as far as peace, you just gotta find your peace internally, whatever it is, man. You know,
Mm-hmm. But I think it
take
comes
some
with these
time.
conversations, man. These are the ones that get your mind like kind of, really, figuring, or at least seeing the game for what it is or the world for what it is or, finding your placement in it or whatever, you take from internal dialogue or, trying to understand what's happening as it's, coming out or as we're reflecting on it. Because it is trying to process, what we're observing and then how to materialize it and how to interpret individually, collectively, and then how it impacts. Because every little thing, as we can be able to trace, especially if we focus on something like what we were talking about earlier, you're like, yeah, I can make an argument that definitely helped. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so then what is the goal? Oh, do it yourself, be on your own thing. Like what you said, like, oh, well, I don't trust them putting salt in my shit. I will cook my own shit.
Yeah, because they'll just put it in everything, right? So it's like, okay, well, how much can you do for yourself? You know what I'm saying? You got to like, because if you allow everyone else to do it, then you're going to be always at the mercy of someone else, right? And then you're going to be upset for someone else, but you chose to eat that, So how about you just take control of what you can and go forward, You can't control everything. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's never going to happen. You're never going to control everything. But there's certain things you can't control. Hopefully, to an extent, whatever goes on in your house, you know what I'm saying? And what you choose to put in your body.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm into that. That's what I think it's really. I think that's important, but it's not for everybody. Like I said, everybody plays it, differently. Yeah, that camera shit though.
Get a camera, bro. Slow down. Go.
I mean, it's crazy. Even the phones.
Come out and shoot with me too.
The phones that what the phones can do. I was looking at the specs, and I don't know shit about specs. I'm just side by side. What is this and all this? But the capabilities of it, I was like, damn, dude. In middle school, I was still using like Kodak in those disposable joints. You know what I'm saying? Remember those? You just like take them out of the package, and there'd be like 20 of them. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Well, what we have right now, right? What we have right now is way more superior than what we had when we were in high school.
Dude, like it's so crazy. Like just to have the ability to have that on hand, and that's in dual with a video recorder that shoots in 4K and some shit. Like, what the fuck are we? Like to have this at our fingertips, it's kind of like, okay, to realize it, what the fuck do we do with this shit? Because this is an opportune time with this technology. We have to take advantage of it and not in the fucked up way. You know what I'm saying? Which clearly is already, we can recognize that's already going on. And not to say nothing else there isn't great shit out there. I think there's a lot of it. It's just how, since everybody has one, clearly there is some importance to do this. Now, how much do we rely on it? That's the whole, well, shit. We just log in.
We just rely on everything, dude. Like, yeah, like,
do I put it back here, or is it you know what I'm saying? Are we doing the
glass? No, you just automatically just put it into your brain, and then it's like, oh, how did they know I wanted to take shots of boobies again?
I mean, that is
the perfect boob.
Oh my god, that's a possibility. Would that be a W or a L if we got there? Just that particular thing, not everything else. Just
if we put it in the back of our head and I don't know. That's a good question. I wouldn't know.
Hypothetical. Clearly, I mean, if we reach that point, and then it's like, yeah, dude, this is the shit. Or is it always what we talked about last time? No, you just never know how technology kind of just plays. It's always in reflection. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, dude. So what if we're in the simulation to be like, yeah, man, so what's up? What time are you going to plug in tomorrow? Like, I'm just plugged in for the next 6 months, man. I'm not plugging out. I'm like, all right, man, I'll try to get to the house and feed it too.
Right? Huh? We really do that. Like, we kind of do that. Like, we're plugged in right now. or like me right now, we're literally plugged in. Or on top of it, we do like, for a while, we were like, hey, you get on to play some NBA 2K? All right, now I'll get you on. I have an NBA 2K league, dog. I'll see you guys on in a minute.
Yeah. This is a digital representation of us. And that's what's strange, because this clearly can be altered, and then you can take this form in different forms in different worlds. And it's like, oh, shit. Did we fuck up?
Oh fuck yeah, we fucked up.
Is this when the floods happen? It's like shit. God damn it. They're going to be like, yo, what the fuck did y'all do, man? Y'all just took this shit and ran the opposite way. Y'all just basically was like, yo, on tip off on a rebound. He was like, man, let me dunk this shit. Like, what are you doing?
Yo, why was I telling a friend, was like, I can only imagine like something happens, right? And there's a reset and they go digging years from now, whatever life form, thousands of years from now, right? And this is so bad. They're like, they see like a corpse, right? They see the skeleton and they're like, what are these plastic things around it? Silicone boobs still on the corpse.
That'll be hella crazy.
Just a silicone booth on top, like
shit.
Like I'm just thinking like Rick and Morty, where I don't know if you see that show, just like a dead body and the silicone is still like left intact on there. Because I mean I have to look it up. I'm probably completely off on the facts, but like I want to say that the wrapping is plastic, right, or something. Right, and they say plastic has a very long time to biodegrade or whatever.
Oh, decompose,
right?
Oh shit!
So you still have the skeleton, but then you have the non-decomposed just hovering on top.
Just surrounded by water balloons. They're like this people. They love to play with water balloons, and they made the best ones.
Well, the water balloon will probably be dehydrated from the amount of time and maybe evaporation from heat. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that should have just looked like jizz on the floor then.
Right, and then people see it like, I don't know what was going on, but maybe it was a time where there was a flood because they had flotation devices on their chest. Some of them had flotation devices on their chest. So I don't get these things.
That's funny. We're standing in the middle of an ocean right now. Oh my god, the world was an ocean based on how many people have these floating devices. Like,
there's these floating devices that people are wearing.
Hey, I could understand that because the way we interpret history now, that's clearly what we're doing. So I'm like, hey, that I could totally see some shit like that. And you find some shit like, oh.
And this was a dingle hopper, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Dude, they were all rich. Look at this. This community here has all gold teeth. Oh my god, this is reminiscent of the Mayans I once read about. Like, dude, gold teeth. Ooh, look at this gold chains.
They must have been pilots because there's things called Air Force One. They all wore them.
It must have been an army.
It must have been better yet a Navy, right? Cash money was an army, better yet a Navy.
For real, man. Dude, who knows? Like that's like. Yeah, that's hella funny. Thinking about that, the flotation devices. That's right. I was just thinking about BBLs. I was like, that is funny.
Right? I mean, they don't they just they move the fat from where they already had it though, right?
Is that what that is? I don't know what the procedure is.
I want to say that's probably what it was. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were doing like, you know how motherfuckers be putting that like shit in their muscles to make it big. I thought it was doing some shit like that.
Oh, I thought the one is where they relocate the fat.
Oh shit! Okay,
that's so cool. There's a part of me is like, oh, you're relocating your own fat? Oh, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, visually, it's somehow they implanted that. You know, Sir Mix-a-Lot has a lot to do with it. He's probably
kicking them nasty thoughts.
Yeah, he's probably CIA. For real, he's Jason Bourne probably. He's like, yo, just come out with a rap song. Here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be called Project Big Booty, and then ta-da! Like, oh shit, this is the modern day. You know, look of a woman will have to include something of that effect. And they've manufactured pants and a whole lifestyle that goes around accentuating that part. Oh, and the guy, don't look, hey pervert, don't look. Like what? Why you gonna make these pants? Are you crazy? What are you doing to us? This is torture.
Right.
This is torture. Everybody wears it. They're not. I don't even know why they're not even yoga pants anymore. Those are just. Nope. That's just what they wear. That's just the leggings or the pants. That's just called pants now. You see those at formal wear attire. You see that as casual attire. You see it as it's just everywhere. Men and women. Like I'm like, dude, what the hell's going on?
Well, yeah, the yoga part cracks me up because it's like to me, I'm like, really, like, you want to walk out like that? Come on now, you know. Hold on, let me check something because I got an email and I think this is a phishing thing.
That is so. Yeah, that's like effed up, man. It's like, yo, how you gonna wear that? what? Don't look. That's not appropriate. Like,
Yeah.
what the?
And you want me to always look I? You want me
Yeah.
to always look I?
Like,
Danielson, you know?
yeah. I'm like, what the hell? Like, who? How did we get? But I think the demasculation this is helping. We are living in some torturous world.
Oh man, treacherous times, man.
Yeah, they got us, man. They doing some dirt to us. I don't know why and for what, but we need to fight back. I think a lot of more of these man niche shows. I'm not saying this is a man niche show, but we definitely have talked about versions of that stuff. This is going to become more commonplace, just as much as conspiracy theories are now. That's just something you see, they talk about on TV. It's normal. You know what I'm saying? This behavior and men coming back into the world is definitely going to be a thing, if not already.
It's gonna swing back. It's gonna definitely swing back to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And
just hope
not
that
like
we
it's
don't do
team us or whatever. It's just it's gonna swing because um just there's also women that are no longer liking certain things that are happening, like it's like they're like, where are the men at? Well, you kind of created us this way. Your forefathers, your your fellow ladies, wanted this so much. I'm sorry, not sorry, this is what they wanted. This is what's going on. Like I stated before, I've seen some women who will literally raise their own sons to be the man they wouldn't even date. Not to sit there and woman will want to date their son. What I'm saying is, you're dating them like a man you wouldn't even respect, or you're raising them out like a man you wouldn't even respect. You know what I'm saying? You want to put them on a pedestal, or you want them to do that because of their father. That he was just some weekend pussy. I don't know if you remember that, but their father you fell for, you know, because he ran the right game, and then you want them to not be that. You want them to be everything but that, and then now you raise them to not even either not like it was a bad thing, either be gay or not be good at dating. That's all I'm saying.
The fact that I can't like a rainbow is fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying?
You can like a rainbow. I don't give a shit.
But I mean, in theory, in today's world, you know what I'm saying? I can't just go out there with a fucking rainbow t-shirt. Motherfuckers like, hey, man, good shit. Hey, keep on sucking. Like, hey, I suck all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's all good. Like, it's fun to me. It's crazy how that is such a strange and stark shift in terms of interpretation of a word, or even an image for that matter, or a set of colors that are arranged in such a manner, has kind of taken this.
That's definitely us men doing that though, right there.
What?
Probably like can't do a rainbow. You can't even eat hot dogs in public.
Oh no, you gotta eat that shit privately, bro. Like
Yeah,
in the bathroom. Like
to the side. But even doing that kind of looks bad. Like, oh,
this one got two.
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's considered like that's like considered American food.
Hot dog.
Yeah,
of course, it's slop.
Crazy, slop. Right? I had this discussion
slop,
on the other pod. We talked about that. We were like, yo, why is American food associated with just a burger and a fucking hot dog? Like, what the fuck?
It's either burger, hot dog, or turkey. And for some reason,
turkey.
Even though it didn't start here, I feel like sandwiches.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because a hot dog is a sandwich, burger is a sandwich, right?
So that's as controversial as like
right?
Fucking yeah, that's as controversial as like JFK's assassination, bro. What are you bringing up right now?
That's as controversial as Jordan versus LeBron, right?
Yeah, dog, you talking? What you walk into that community and say some nonsense like that? That is like still debated to this day in delis around the world.
It's not a sandwich. Well, it's meat between two bread.
A motherfucker just
with some condiments on top. And it's possibly some fresh produce.
And it looks like a penis.
What, the hot dog?
Yeah, man.
Burger? Oh, so you're seeing the
yeah, but penis that looks like a hamburger? Shit.
All right, man.
Alert.
I got kicked in the nuts. He just flattened up.
That'd be crazy if it looked like a gopher tail. What the fuck? Just flat and like thick. Like that should look like a thick ass spatula or something. Like what the fuck is that? It look like
I'm sorry,
a grill brick.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You said you like it thick.
Hey, who knows though? Like what? That who knows, man? Maybe that
What
genre
if
ain't hot yet.
Maybe that's the missing thing that women. You really wanted a burger penis.
Maybe. We've been fucking up this whole time, man.
Talking about?
You know what I'm saying? Dude, the world is wacky, man. You've seen shapes of dildos, man. Come on, man. You seen some of them weirdo things. You're like, what the fuck is that?
What's that?
That should look like a science project. It's like, this is like a dragon tail and shit.
What's going on?
You know what I'm saying? That's an octopus leg. Like,
I didn't know you like Captain Hook.
These flesh vehicles that we're in are strange.
Where's the hook?
Oh man,
where's the hook? Rufio, man.
Even that shit too. Like, we talk about the evolution of all that nonsense. It's like, man, we are living in strange times. Strange times. But it's some of the dopest though. I ain't gonna lie.
No, yeah. I mean, I can only imagine where it'll be in the future. Like, partially getting better with certain things too. So. We live in a strange. We definitely live in a strange time. I think mentally, we're just shooting people like in the last 2 months, nonstop now. And obviously, depending on how you look at it, it can be all set up. It can be real, but it's just like there's a lot of shootings going on. We're definitely living in an awakening, yet also an identity crisis at the same time.
Like as a country, as a state, as a people, as a race,
I think this is overall.
There is something going on.
There is. I feel like, and I don't know what to say. It's like maybe it's just so much input coming in from all different angles that like people are getting confused or whatever, I don't know, man. But
I don't know either.
Definitely difficult time right now.
It's crazy. Yeah. LeBron James wanting to put an NBA team in Las Vegas. That is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's gonna happen, but yeah. I don't know why it have no bearing to me, right? It really doesn't. But there is still a part of me where I'm like, I don't know, team should be in Vegas. That's like the easy cash grab / like you're just bound for manipulation,
But I mean, it's stating the obvious at this point. Shit, you know what I'm saying? It's they're behind if they don't get there soon because sports betting's, it's here. It's so huge. How much is the NBA gonna be able to reap the benefits of it? And you got an HQ in fucking Vegas somehow, because without it, you're in the dust. You know what I'm saying? That's why Vegas was like, ta-da, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense, especially now with like California and everything. Like more people were wanting to leave. I was just like, well, let's go here. Let's in Vegas. Now, granted, for me. Vegas is way too hot for me. And granted, people are inside all day. Once they get their grid really good, you know what I'm saying? Now, the grid's actually probably excellent because they run a casino.
They're getting all types of energy from somewhere.
I guess I'm just tripping. Now you got a house, you pay your AC on, who cares?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. Walks, outdoor activities are fun. I think there's moments in the year that you can do that, but for the most part, I mean, most people living indoors. You know what I'm saying? Working indoors.
Yeah, don't have me go to I'll be all type of trouble.
Dude, we're at a point where players are gonna be. He might be a owner player. Is that a possibility?
He may be an owner player coach.
But that's every dream. That is essentially
owner player coach.
That is essentially if a video game player. That's who you are in the video game. This is what LeBron James is about to do it for real. Like, oh no, I will own a team and also coach it and play in it. What?
I'm an owner player coach. Yeah.
I negotiated my own contract with myself.
Put me back in.
Come on, man.
You know what? Oh, you don't want to hear it? Trade it.
Exactly. I'm just gonna do
He-
coach mode.
yeah, he's already doing it. It's like, oh, yep. You know what? I'm an owner, player, and coach. My salary every year is $140 million.
Oh my god, for real. And this was like, I'm gonna trade myself to somebody else. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
it
I'm
still
a
be the owner of
trade.
the team, but I'm gonna get a check from this team. Like what?
Yeah, I'm gonna trade myself, right? And then I'm gonna give you the insights on how they're working.
Oh man, it's gonna be him and Bronny together. That's really what it is.
I mean, if that can happen and Bronny's good enough to get drafted, cool.
You don't think he's gonna get drafted, huh?
I mean, it's difficult. Um, I mean, he could probably just get drafted off of namesake from his
Uh-huh.
father, right?
Yeah.
And that just makes him even better than Jordan because not even Jordan's kids could get drafted because of not. But Bronny's actually like when you look at it, Bronny's been in the highlight for a while and really.
Hmm.
I don't know if Michael Jordan ever pushed it on him or whatever, or maybe helped him. I don't know, but LeBron's definitely trying to train his son to be good.
What do you
Yeah.
think? Do you think he has staying power? You think he could rival his dad's legacy or continue on?
No, no, I don't think Brian will rivals Bav's legacy. I have not seen that in him as a player in high school. I mean,
What?
well, and not even sit there say like I just want to see him. He's a good player. He probably can make the league.
Uh,
But he ain't gonna be like right now. He ain't gonna be a star unless there's like I don't know if have you been watching Boys.
no.
Unless he somehow like once he hits 19 or 18, his mutant gene kicks in, and the mutant LeBron James gene kicks in
Mm.
because right now he's like 6'3". He turned 6'5" at least, right? 6'5", 6'6",
Uh-huh.
and then his bounce goes from like 40 inch to 48.
Mm.
Right now he is a possible NBA pickup. Most like could be a backup guard or a good role player.
Mm.
Right
Okay.
now.
So it's almost to say it's impossible to go from a player of the stature of Michael Jordan or LeBron James, the
Oh
the right
yeah.
blend to have offspring to follow because the likelihood of them hitting the genetic lottery is very minuscule.
But it's not even just genetic lottery; it's the talent lottery. That's the part, right? And depending on how much they work on him too, right? Like I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
I think you can gain a lot of talent if you're putting in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, mm.
I think maybe LeBron definitely put in the money to help his son get good. Was there. I don't know how Michael Jordan was as a father, as in leading his kids in basketball. So
It's tough legacy. You got to think, man. You
oh
right
f
behind
yeah.
Black Jesus. You right behind, the King. Like, but
Oh
I'm
for
curious to
sure.
know because there is a lot of what's that called? What do they call them? Legacy athletes that are starting to
Oh,
spawn
Curry.
up.
Like
Yeah,
but a lot of
Curry,
really
Peyton.
good ones are like outstanding ones are ones of like not stars like Kobe Bryant, Curry so far. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all
See,
of a sudden they
it's an upgrade. It's never superstar. This motherfucker did even better than his dad. Like, well, not yet. We don't know it until we see it, but there is going to be an influx of a lot of, legacy athletes coming through. I think
yeah
what Pippin's son's down there, Kenyon Martin's son's down
Kenny
there.
Martin's down. Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't keep up heavily, but I will see, some of their highlights come across my screen and I'll kind of peep out once in a while, like what's going down. But yeah, I see a
it,
list, a
it,
lot of legacy people, and I'm like,
it's it's definitely
geez,
getting to the point where now it's like you had to already have someone. You know, it's
it's
becoming
becoming
now
more
it's
exclusive.
yeah more of the secret society.
Yeah. But
That
then also you have to have
or
it in too now, like you have the European and the international
yeah,
league.
I was gonna say that or they love you as a European. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But you already know that mafia has been set up. They're like, oh, you got to go through this, squad to kind of get the in to get to the NBA. That's what I'm assuming it would be like, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, this is the guy. All right, cool. Make a deal. All right, cool. It's like renting players and shit. Like, all right, you guys could have him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably no different than what they were doing in soccer. You know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's how I was like, oh, everybody's just on this level. So somehow NBA has arrived revenue wise, or at least world appeal to be able to get on that, that hustle. So that's why, oh, it kind of makes sense. LeBron coming out in the open, whether he actually owns a team or not, who knows? But it's out there that, okay, the NBA will have a Las Vegas team. It's been floated out there for what the last 5, 10
Yeah.
years.
I mean, after a while, you talk about it enough, it'll come to fruition.
Yeah. And then they're also saying they're adding expansion teams. So the next team they're believed to be is probably Seattle.
Well, they said they would have to in order to balance it out, but
and not make it so obvious. Shit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yes, a big market, Vegas and Seattle. Like, y'all left Seattle and Vegas. Like, oh, so y'all just need to make this look as oh, this isn't anything but just, trying to expand the game and have serve our fan base. It's like, motherfucker, you already know. You guys are about to get into new TV deals. You guys are about to there's going to be basketball everywhere.
Oh
Watch,
man, yeah.
Get that J. Cole jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. Like, hey, now we have a league for stars.
Come on, man. What do you think Siakam and Ibaka and all them gonna be playing? Or being ambassadors, Mutombo out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's gonna be a whole plethora of, like we talk about, that mafia is set up now. You have the Yao Ming, mafia bosses. Like, oh, all the Chinese people come through, Asia come through.
Oh yeah, you got to get them. You got to get them because it's a billion plus. I didn't realize how many.
Come on,
I didn't realize how many like Chinese people loved basketball.
Dude, Yao Ming's still the #1 voted All-Star, man. To this day. That fool retired at 2006, 7.
That's funny, man. That's funny to me. Like,
but it's true. You remember that controversy with Maury during the pandemic, and it was just like, yeah, this and that. Oh, we canceled all of Houston's games. Revenue down 1,000%.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
They were like, dude, time out. We do not concur or express that opinion is not of our opinion.
Yeah.
We're so sorry.
Don't mind LeBron James. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, dude. That's what I was like, it's not a bad thing, in my opinion. I know it may come off like, oh, man, China. Look, man, China's been around forever. I think what we're seeing is that what the NBA has done in the back scene is just really set up that international pipeline very cleverly. You know what I'm saying? And you can see how they're able to really accentuate those stars when they had them that were from different countries. So far to the point where they're able to spawn and create a network. It sounds like we're doing fucking drug trading or something, or, espionage.
Oh, that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, exactly. That's why you see, all those players will be, during summertime, a lot of them will do camps, worldwide sometimes, or be out at appearances and, do a run wherever, in the Philippines, especially, they do a lot of that. So that's, I was like, oh, it's fucking crazy. You know how fucking Filipino people are in basketball and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the same as me. That's my people.
Hey, for real.
Loving basketball like crazy. Oh man, I'm kind of exhausted.
Oh yeah.